This is a cry for my niece, LaWanda Rogers, who was murdered August 1st, Sunday morning, sunrise, by a monster who lived on the corner of Cobb and Elizabeth in the town of Kalamazoo, Michigan. This monster came out of his home at 4 o'clock in the morning. His intention was to kill someone. I am in so much pain, and there's so much family that is scarred forever because this monster chose to take a life. He took the life of my niece, LaWanda Rogers, for no reason. This is how it happened, as it was stated to me. On this morning, my niece, who came to visit Saturday, that night, which was set July 31st, she came to my home that Saturday evening, and she said, "Uncle, I love you." She said, "I haven't seen you in a while. I'm here to visit my grandchild and my daughter, and to take my son home." After we said that, she came into my room later, about an hour, and knocked on the door, and she said to me, and these were her last words. She said, "Uncle, I love you. I'll see you tomorrow." And I said, "Yes, I love you too, LaWanda. Have a good time. Enjoy your time with your grandchild." Well, this was never to be, because this monster, Tommy, it is hard for me to even say his name, but this monster, as I said, for no reason, was stalking his home. They pulled outside. As she was passing by, she saw a friend who was our cousin's ex-boyfriend. So she stopped to speak, only to say hi in passing. So she approached him as she got out of her car. This monster said, "Get out of my driveway. This is not a lover's lane." So the young man replied. But no matter how he replied, this monster had no right to do what he did. He does not own a public street. He did not question them about why they were there, who they were. This man knew neither one of this gentleman or this woman. He chose to take a mother from her child, a mother from her granddaughter, a mother from her family. He pulled his gun and immediately shot the young man in his hand. Then he proceeded to chase my niece, who was running for her life, to her car. She made it into the driver's side and was screaming, "Please, okay, okay, we're leaving." This monster, deliberately, with malice in his heart and hatred, deliberately shot my niece in the neck and then put another slug in her. Then he turned around and emptied the gun on the young man. This man should be upheld and held accountable for his monstrous acts on an innocent woman and an innocent man. This man was a father also, and he was taken from his children and his loved ones by a man who had no compassion, no feelings for anyone. For someone to lie awake at this time of the morning and roam his property waiting on a victim or victims to approach so that he could deliberately kill them without reason. Now this man, this monster, has the nerve to say that it is self-defense. There is no self-defense in this case. This man had no reason. No one that I know can comprehend why this monster did what he did. It can only be assumed that this man was on some type of drugs or he is mentally ill. But I have been told that this man had an altercation earlier that day with someone and told them, this is strictly hearsay, but this is what I was told, that he would kill the very next person that violated his space. Well, a public street is not his space. It is no one's space. It is to the public. It's for everyone. I cry out to everyone out there who has a daughter, a son, a grandchild, a family that they love, to help me in pursuing this monster's conviction. I ask that you please reply to this. You can email me at Wayne Hunt 2001. Let me repeat that. It's Wayne _ Hunt 2001 at yahoo.com. I want this to get out to the public because there is so much crime in this small community of Kalamazoo, Michigan, and these murders must stop. There must be justice. There must be justice for the innocent. There must be justice for the innocent's loved ones. So I beg you, I implore you to reach out and give me whatever support that you can. This is from LAWANDA Rogers' uncle. My name is Daryl Hunter. I love my niece. To me, she was my niece. She was my friend. She was my little sister. We shared a bond that a brother and sister would share. Now her children are all alone. Her grandson will never see her. He will have no memory of her other than the memory that we tell him about. All I can say is please have compassion. Help me in fighting this and bringing justice to the murder of LAWANDA Rogers on August 1st in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and the young gentleman who was with her, who harmed no one, who only came to a spot to speak to one another because they hadn't seen each other in such a long time. And for this, their lives were taken. This monster has to be punished. What I wish to do to stop this murder and this violence in the city of Kalamazoo, Michigan, is to get a petition to have everyone and anyone support me in this. And I would like to call it LaWanda's Law. For she was murdered without conscience. She was murdered without thought. This only hurts as deep as it does when it becomes you. I'm quite sure there are people out there that have been in this situation and who has cried out for justice. I cry for this justice now, not just for my niece, for everyone like her and everyone that's lives will be taken for no reason. There must be a penalty to deter this type of crime in our cities. It seems that just time in jail only pacifies the monster and the criminal that does these acts. So I plead with you for a harsher penalty in the state of Michigan, the death penalty for this monster. There have been some that has tried to justify the acts of this monster. But I expect that because they are from his children. I am totally appalled and shocked that anyone can even fathom for 1 second that this monster had a reason to gun down and murder my niece, who was only here to see her grandson and her daughter, and to get her son and go back home in Toledo, Ohio. So if there is a God, could you please guide the people that have the power to change the laws and make this a better and safe place? So I ask for your support in helping me bring this monster to justice. His court day is Tuesday coming. Which will be August the 16th, if I'm correct. I ask anyone out there to come to the courthouse on this day to help me support my niece and the young man that was murdered and gunned down in a senseless murder by a monster that was created by Satan himself. I have no more words, for my heart is heavy and it is hard for me to speak out. But God is enlightening my heart so that I can speak to you as plain and simple as I can. For the pain of losing my niece and all my family members, this pain will never leave us. Every time I look at my niece, her daughter, her granddaughter, her son, I shall be reminded that this monster has taken the lives of an innocent woman who was educated, bright, artistic, and loved by many, many people. She never hurt anyone. She was just a mother, just a working person who was trying to survive and live her life as long as God would let her. Now has been shortened by this monster, Tommy Emery of Kalamazoo, Michigan. This monster cannot and should not ever see the outside of the prison walls that he is now encaged in. So once again, I beg you, please support me in making the small community of Kalamazoo, Michigan a safer place for our children and grandchildren to live. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. 1,000 thank yous for anyone who supports me and our families in these hard times. I will end this, but I will air other comments about my niece. For she was